Well, hello, everybody. What's up? I am Jay. As you can see, actually, that way. Not that way. That way. I'm Jay with Guilty of Crime, guys, and I'm back. Come on in. Do me a favor. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Get a membership if you can, guys. Listen, I'm covering the dentist wife double homicide. Was this a targeted hit? Spencer Tepe and Monique Tepe gunned down. Was it somebody that knew them? And I'm asking that as a question because I'm going to answer it for you today. And now we're almost a week after this, and I've got the latest information for you guys. But let me tell you something. Let's just start real quick. Do me a favor. Let me put this banner down there. Good to see you guys. We got a trigger warning per usual. Sadie's mama's been a member for 21 months. Prayers for all crime crew, lovies, marvelous mods, and wonderful Jay. Well, thank you. I've also got my goal up there, guys. Uh-oh. I hope. Okay, I froze for a minute. Hope it's not like that. Rachel Burton, member for 11 months, 21 months. Let's start with this real quick, okay? Let me just start with, and I see this on my YouTube page. This channel exists solely for true crime. This is my commentary, and everything I say on here is alleged and only in my opinion. All right, let's get that straight. So, everything I present to you will be facts. There'll be suppositions, and we'll have conversations that I'll let you know. But everything else is my commentary, and if you don't like my commentary, then get out of here. But I do want all of you here that enjoy the content. So, for those of you that don't, exit that way. Be on out. Otherwise, today we're going to talk about that double homicide. I absolutely believe that was a targeted hit. I'm going to tell you why. I think we're giving a Foxy Box away today, but I also have a copy of my book that I'd love to give out and with it signed. I got a copy. I can sign it and send it as long as you're in the United States. If we get to the goal today, we can do that. So some of you guys don't even know that I wrote a book. I did, and it's on Amazon, but I have a copy here. And it sounds like we're doing a Foxy Box. I don't know what we're saying. Oh, Mabster got a Foxy Box. Okay, I see that. Well, Mabster got a Foxy Box, and I got a book. So come on in, guys. Don't let the weather stop you. Don't let the internet that's going slow stop you. Come on in. Kathy, how you doing? Teresa, Angel of Light. Always Mab. Good to see you, Maggie. Holly, thank you for being here. Synth is a little confused today. She couldn't find the link, which is interesting. I just sent it to her. So any of the mods can help assist it out. Synth is having trouble getting to the link. All right. So anyhow, I wrote that book a couple years ago, right before I started streaming. It's up on Amazon. Many people from the Crime Crew Day One have gotten that book signed or read it, but I just realized I have an extra copy, and I'd love, yes, Kiki, I'd love to sign this and send it to one lucky person. So that being said, yes, I am an overachiever, and yes, all commentary is my opinion and my opinion only. Or you can call that fake news, whatever you prefer. Either way, it's my channel, my commentary. And with that, let's get into it, guys, because we got a lot today. And like I said, just because you heard about this case, it doesn't mean you heard it from Jay from Guilty of Crime. I always got a different way and new input on the case. Good to see you, Indy Isham, Shadow, Angel Olai, Jay, the Italian Cookie. There you go. Come on in. Let's get to that goal, and I'll give a book away. Or we could drop the link if you want to grab a book. They're really inexpensive. I'd be happy to sign for y'all. Just let me know. All right. All right. And Sadie's mama, I'm all over this. Let me just get into this. There's absolutely no forced entry in this case. Double homicide. And guys, here's the thing. I believe the target was Spencer Tepe, the dentist, and I believe that there's some possibilities of some nefarious things that could be happening in many different situations, right? We know the Adelsons, and we know that dentistry, and I've also heard lots of other cases where dentists are involved in corruption, drug dealing. Who knows? I'm not blaming that on Spencer, but we do have a lot to talk about today. All right. When I lived in Columbus, I lived maybe 3 blocks from there. Sarah, good to see you. Thank you, MM. All right. Tracy Smith, my pastor calls me Mish. Hello, girl. My beautiful friend. Mab's coming in hot with a 4.99. He's number one, king of Turtle Island, baby. Tell Mrs. Mab I said hi as well, Mab. I really love your wife. She's such a sweetheart. All right, Wesley, always prayers for you. Good to see you. You're in the future. It looks like Synth found her way. She meandered her way on in. And my pastor calls me Mish, member for 17 months. You're the best. I missed y'all. That's another thing I was going to ask you. Did anybody miss me? I think I only streamed like maybe 3 times from Christmas until now. So anyhow, James, thank you so much for the $3 super sticker. Much love to you, my guy. I appreciate you so much. You guys are getting this kicked off nice. All right, guys, murder mystery. And I think this is going to unfold fairly quickly. It's a murder mystery, justice for Spencer and Monique and the children, guys. There are 2 children that were left in that house to fend for themselves, crying with 2 dead bodies being their parents in the house. So we're going to try to protect the identity of the children, of course. But let's take a look at this real quick. Let's just get into what happened, because it's a big deal about what the heck happened in this case. All right. Now, today's January 5th, and this article is January 5th, nearly a week after the Wineland Park killings. Information is still scarce, guys, but law enforcement is narrowing down a certain time frame that they want you and me to focus on, and the camera. So if anybody is from this area, all right, from the 1400 block of North 4th Street in Columbus, right? This is Ohio, Wineland Park neighborhood. All right, we have a double homicide, 2 children in the home crying. Let's just start this off real quick so you can see the area. Police found Spencer, 39, Monique, 739, December 30th. All right. We don't need the music. Columbus police have not publicly announced any suspects in this case. All right. At this time, we do know there was no forced entry, and they did find shell casings, guys. And anyway, that's the area. It's Ohio. All right. So I want you all to know that. Right. As of right now, we have person of interest in the death of Spencer and Monique Tepe seen on video. Columbus police have released footage of a man who they described as a person of interest. It's right here, y'all. All right, let's stop it for a second, because I bet you anything, some of you guys did not see this. Police are asking that you guys and surrounding people in the area pay attention to the cameras, and specifically a 3-hour window in Ohio. All right. In Columbus, Ohio, they're looking between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. So listen, Spencer Tepe, 37, and his lovely wife, Monique Tepe, 39, were found fatally shot in their Columbus, Ohio home on December 30th, 2025. Investigators are treating the deaths as a double homicide. Now, listen, guys, there's no weapon that was recovered at the scene, and police are asking the public for video tips from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. And I'm showing you a guy that's walking by the house and a person of interest they want to talk to. Law enforcement has, however, found shell casings of a 9mm firearm, and they can match ballistics with that, etc. It's like a fingerprint, all right? So these two, this dentist and his wife, were shot to death, double homicide in their house, December 30th, and nothing, and I mean nothing, was stolen. The children were in the house crying, and I'm going to get to the whole story because a welfare check happened, and when the welfare check happened, everything just went awry. All right, so let's take a look at this person. I'm gonna see you let him walk by. I want you to remember they found 9mm casings. All right. They found 9mm spent casings, which means when you shoot someone, the spent casing comes out without the bullet. Well, they found them all over because Spencer was shot to death in his chest area and his wife was only shot once. Now, no forced entry happened. And not only no forced entry, but no money, nothing was taken from that home, which leads me to believe, as well as the Tepe's family members, that this is in fact and was a targeted hit. So we do need your help, my help. That's why I'm getting this case out there. This is not an easy one. There's two children that don't have their parents anymore that brutally had to go through that, whether they remember it later. I think 5 and 6 years old, I think they're going to remember that. All right. Kathy, thank you for the Guilty of Crime membership. If you guys just got in, don't worry. You know me. I'm going to do a recap. We're going to do all. We got an hour and a half together. Miracle Hearts, good to see you, my friend. All right, here you go. Police released this. This is Columbus Division of Police today. And this is a man walking across that area from the cameras that police ask people send information to and about. Now, there's not a lot of things going on that street. The neighborhood's nice. You'll see it. I know there's areas that are rough, but this guy is in that time frame of what law enforcement is looking for, and maybe, just maybe, he had something to do with it or he saw something, but he looks a little suspicious. I don't know if he's just extra cold. Nobody else was walking around between 2 and 5 a.m. What was this guy doing and what does he know? All right. Thank you, Kathy. All right. It's Christmas again. All right. So that was that nearly a week after they are releasing some key information. They released this video of somebody they think they want to talk to. It's a person of interest, and it may have been more than one shooter. We don't know if the gun was a 9mm revolver or a 9mm, Smith and Wesson. That's not, just a 9mm. I don't know how to explain the difference. You guys know the difference between a revolver and a regular gun. So let's go with that. We don't know yet, but they can match that up once they find more evidence. And they're not giving us all the evidence because they want that element of surprise, especially, guys. There's 111 people. Let me just say a prayer for Spencer and his wife, that they get the justice that's deserved. All right. Happy birthday, Mab. Is it your birthday, Mab? Happy birthday, buddy. Joanne, you might want to unsubscribe and then resubscribe to get all notifications. All right. So listen, we got Spencer and Monique Tepe found shot to death in their Wyland Park home on December 30th. Two young children and their dog were found unharmed inside of the house. Now, when somebody goes to that far to execute two people, don't steal anything, no forced entry, and they don't harm the kids, that speaks volumes that it was a targeted hit by somebody you know. Police are investigating the deaths as a double homicide and asking for security footage in the area. Now, Columbus police remain tight-lipped as the investigations into the deaths approaches its second week. No arrest, no publicly named suspects, but the guy that you saw walking by is a person of interest. Now, what has emerged in the days since the shooting is a portrait of the couple that lived an ordinary, quiet life, focused on raising children and their dog, leaving their community to wonder who would want to harm them. Now, Spencer and Monique Tepe were found dead on the morning of December 30th. In their home, 1400 block of North 4th Street. Okay. I believe the 911 calls came in about 10 a.m. We're going to go over the timeline. All right. So they had a 1-year-old boy and a 4-year-old girl in the house unharmed, as well as a golden doodle. Now, the Tepe children and their dog didn't get touched, they weren't harmed. The couple's case has captured significant local and national attention, and they're asking for your help. Now, let's go over some of these key things, and then I'm going to go over the timeline, what law enforcement has to say, and just so much more in this case. Welcome, guys. Come on in. You know what? I think, and I'm going to tell you as we go. I'm not going to spit it right out. So you guys tell me what you think it is, and I'll tell you as we go. We're going to get into that, my girl Tiff. We're going to get into the time frame and all that. I just want to go over key pieces of this. Now, deaths of Monique and Spencer, as you guys know, dentist Spencer Tepe and wife Monique both found shot in Columbus. Dentist Spencer and his wife in Wyland Park, Ohio. Family of couple dead in Wyland Park releases a statement, and I'm going to read that to you in a bit. All right. As well as the lack of info. Monique and Spencer couple are mourned by their office, which we'll dig into a little more. Long troubled Wyland Park neighborhood thriving despite the tragedy. Wyland Park shooting leaves dentist wife dead. They've got a bunch of articles. What do we know about Spencer? Well, Spencer worked as a dentist for the Athens Dental Depot in Athens. Really nice spot. He previously worked in Ashland at the Stone Creek Dental Care. Staff at the office confirmed. Now, Spencer earned his bachelor's degree in biology and Spanish, doctorate in dental surgery from Ohio State. So it seems like he had been there for a while. Family said in a statement that he was an avid Buckeyes and Cincinnati Bengals fan. He was raised in Cincinnati area and he attended Mason Public Schools. Now, if you guys know about that, you know. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Monique as well. These are our victims here, along with the children. Now, Monique, his wife, has been described by her family as being an excellent baker, a loving mother, and a kind and patient partner. She had a background in education and she also attended Ohio State. Well, they both went to Ohio State University. The marriage to Spencer was Monique's second. So when you guys start to get into the whole, is it a jilted lover? Well, I've kind of looked into that and I'm not buying that so much, but we can certainly poke into that, you guys. But this is the second marriage. The marriage to Spencer's was Monique's second. She married a fellow Ohio student in 2015. That couple had no children and divorced in 2017. Court records indicate the divorce was amicable and settled quickly. So I looked into that. I didn't see anything. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. So is it going to be connected to the dentist? But what I want you guys to know is the investigators are asking that you give updates or footage or dash cam of anything on December 30th, any camera footage from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. on December 30th, particularly in the area near North 4th Street home on the 1400 block. All right. If there are any people or vehicles visible in the footage, please submit the information to an online portal. You could do that anonymously or you could reach out. Police said both Tepes died after being shot, but that's only information. Tepes were found inside the home, and how many times they were shot hasn't been released, although the wife was only shot once and the husband seemed to be the targeted attack. His body was riddled with bullets. We don't know how many, but there was multiple shots and shell casings were recovered at the scene that we now know was from a 9mm. All right, so let's get into this some more. I'm gonna drop this down. I really, you know how I do. I want you to hear what the family reacts and to the timeline, and then I'll show you the document of what happened that night. Foxy, thank you.
Tepe's story has gained national, even international attention. We've tried to talk directly with Columbus police, but they tell us they have nobody available to answer our questions on camera. Now, homicide detectives are asking for the public's help. 4 friends carrying flowers and a soccer ball, keeping the memorial alive outside the North 4th Street home, where Spencer and Monique Tepe were found brutally shot to death Tuesday. Their 2 young children found unharmed inside. Unlike Tuesday morning, the crime scene tape and police cars that were parked outside are now gone. But we did see police doing guard duty at 2 homes belonging to relatives several miles away. Those relatives didn't want to talk to us, and neither does Columbus Police, who told us, since this is an active investigation, we have no updates to provide at this time. Earlier this week, a CPD spokesman told us detectives were hoping the cameras around the Tepe's house and on the street would point them to a suspect. But now, days later, homicide detectives are asking for help. They need anyone who may have video, photographs, or digital evidence, including suspicious individuals or vehicles from Tuesday, December 30th, between midnight and 9 a.m., to reach out to them.
All right, so that's what I want you guys to be aware of. And thank you, Clark, so much for the $4.99 super sticker. Happy New Year, Crime Crew, mods, and beautiful Jay. My beautiful thank you. I appreciate you. Now, I want you guys to know that the timeline has been narrowed down after almost over a week. The timeline narrowed from between midnight and 9 a.m. on December 30th to literally between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. Police are requesting that any video from that area bounded by Summit Street, North Grant Avenue, East 7th Avenue, and 11th be looked at. All right. They provided a QR code containing the link where people living on that block can submit footage. I'll put that up there in a bit. All right, let's keep going. This is the document that I have here, the Homicide Bureau team unit and the report of the incident.
And the request covers more than just the couple's block. It's a huge area that covers Summit Street, North Grant Avenue, East 7th, and East 11th Avenue. The couple's bodies.
And I hope that gives you guys a better idea of the area if you're not from it. I'm from California. I'm in San Jose, California. So none of this is familiar to me whatsoever. And I appreciate all the locals and my Crime Crew people that fill me in on things that I might not have heard otherwise. All right, you guys, I have guiltyofcrimebyj@gmail.com. If you have something to email me or send me cases. Angel of Light, thank you so much for the super sticker, my love. I do appreciate you. All right, Sherlock Homegirl, good to see you. The play date, no, this is not a play date. We're going to get into it. It's a couple, a dentist and his wife, that were shot to death, and the 2 children were in the house with their dog as they were shot to death. All right. Now, Jay, the Italian Cookie, thank you for being a member for 4 months. I will get into all the different possibilities in a bit. Let's finish this up. I haven't even told you what happened yet.
The couple's bodies were discovered just after 10 Tuesday morning after workers at Spencer's Athens dental office asked police to do a welfare check since he didn't show up for work. Officers found no obvious signs of forced entry and no gun was found at the scene. The Tepe's children, ages 4 and 1, are now in the care of relatives. On your side, Terry Sullivan, ABC 6 News.
In just the last couple of hours, we received a statement from the family of Spencer and Monique.
All right, and this is what we want to hear, because I'm going to go back and forth a little bit. I also want you to see some of the stuff that the brother-in-law is saying about a targeted hit with his brother-in-law and wife. They don't seem to think that this was just anything random at all.
Dunnigan is here. Rodney, they are absolutely devastated by all
Mama,
of this.
Jessica and Mike, they're calling this situation senseless and tragic. They say the couple were extraordinary people whose lives were filled with love, joy, and a deep connection to others.
We're getting a better look at who Spencer and Monique Tepe were. Their family sending us a lengthy statement they called Spencer.
All right, this is awesome. I think we're gonna get into that, but like I said, the brother-in-law is all over the Facebook streets, right? They've already got a group up there for the Tepes, and he says this was my brother-in-law and his wife. We don't have too much information on that, other than it appears to be a targeted attack, not random, not even a break-in for the purpose of a robbery, because nothing was taken and there was no windows broken, doors. They let them in, is what the family or the brother-in-law is saying. Now, he says, this is correct. Spencer was my brother-in-law. My wife and I would stay at their place at least once a month. They never felt unsafe. Now, while we don't have much information, they say everything they do know points calculated and premeditated murder by a person or people who knew what they were doing and possibly let him in. Now, nothing was stolen. Nothing was out of place, and there was no sign of a break-in. This clearly wasn't committed by your average street criminal, according to his brother-in-law. All right. Now, when I read this, I read it with passion. So, it's how I'm reading it. It's what I'm reading, but it's also just an opinion as well. So I appreciate you guys. Let's continue getting into what the family thinks, what they say, and what we think happened, and what's the motive here. We're going to go over that. Julie Bug, good to see you, my friend. Only Low, how you doing, girl? You guys are awesome today. If I missed anything, I will definitely come back and thank you. All right, guys? And Mama Sage, love you. All right, let's go. Here's the family statement.
Spencer, a devoted and proud father, a loving partner, and a friend to everyone he met. They say he was warm, intelligent, and endlessly welcoming. Spencer was an OSU graduate, member of the American Dental Association, and fluent in Spanish. Their family says he was deeply committed to serving others, giving back through big brothers, big sisters. Sports was also a big part of Spencer's life, being a huge fan of the Bengals and, of course, the Buckeyes. They go on to describe Monique as a loving, patient, and joyful mother whose warmth defined her.
Now we have to always remember who the victims are and the victims' children. Now, another thing, guys, and you guys know this, we're all dog people. We're fur babies here, right? We're fur babies here. We love our fur babies. But listen, guys, they had a big old golden doodle. Now, golden doodles aren't attack dogs, right? I have a a 5-pound Maltipoo, and if somebody comes that they don't know, they go crazy barking, whether they're trying to attack or just let us know. But I'm telling you, nobody heard a dog going crazy. Nobody reported any of that. They didn't even report, as we know right now, gunshot sounds. All right. So that's what we have to work with. Hope you had the best holiday. I don't know the story. Thanks for breaking the big stories. It was no accident I found you. Great job, Jay. Well, thank you. I do appreciate that. All right. And also, like I said, I'm going to tell you what Columbus police won't answer about the Tepe killings after this.
He had a background in childhood education. Monique was also a baker.
Mr. and Mrs. Tepe.
And I also have this footage, which I'm going to show you in a bit, of them actually getting married and doing the thing. You'll meet them just a little bit. I was so grateful for that video to still be up for those people. All right. Synth, I'd be texting Jay if it was upside down. You guys are crazy today. What's up, Saucy Skin CBD? Good to see you, my friend. And Cheryl, not hurting the children or the dog says a lot. Not taking anything from the residents. No break-ins, no nothing. That says a lot as well. Jay, I finally know what you mean about the YouTube streets. It's awful. Well, Coffee and Dog Studios, I'm glad you do. Try to be careful on those streets. They are rough, my friend. I would have never started a YouTube channel had I known that. So thank the Lord that I didn't know. All right. I came on here thinking it was kumbaya and we're going to help everyone together. But that's not how it works, guys. All right.
Their family shared this video from their wedding. They also say Spencer and Monique shared a beautiful, strong, and deeply happy relationship. They loved to travel. They were proud parents of their 2 children and their beloved golden doodle.
And they go on to say that they're heartbroken beyond words and no outcome can ever undo this loss. They say they're committed to seeing this tragedy fully and fairly brought to justice and honoring Spencer and Monique by protecting the future of the children they love so deeply. Reporting live in studio tonight.
Now remember, their 2 children are also victims and they're asking for our help. So I'm going to show that GoFundMe here in a minute as well.
Rodney Dunnigan, ABC 6 News.
Spencer Tepe worked at the Athens Dental Depot. They put out a statement to their customers saying it is with heavy hearts that we share the sudden passing of our dear colleague and friend, Dr. Spencer Tepe, as well as his wife, Monique. He will be deeply missed by our team and the many patients he cared for over the years. Our thoughts and sincerest condolences are with their families and loved ones during this very difficult time.
Thank you for watching the...
Guys, we are going to listen to the 911 calls and do all that. But since this is a new case that we have absolutely not covered yet, we're going to deep dive into it like we do and give you all the information. So let me tell you this, guys. Listen, the Tepes were found after Spencer didn't report to work. We're going to hear the 911 calls of a fellow dentist calling in and being real worried. All right. Police conducted a well-being check at the couple's home, but left when there were no answer, guys. They left when there was no answer at either the front or the back doors. Police then returned an hour later as concerned coworkers and at least one friend just went and showed up at the residence. A coworker called the police saying she could hear the children inside, guys. That's got to be scary. Now, a friend called to say he saw Spencer's body by a bed in the home. Now, the friend said in the 911 call that Spencer had last been heard from the day before and was in good health and did not use drugs. Now, shortly after the shooting, Columbus police said no gun was found, and they determined that the deaths were not a murder S. You know what I'm saying? It was not a murder and then self-inflicting deal. Now, Franklin County Coroner's Office is conducting autopsies on the couple, and they'll take an average of 4 to 6 weeks to be completed. Now, what Columbus police won't answer about the Tepe killings. All right. Among the information that has not been released, what's the potential motive for these killings and whether one of the Tepes was the primary or intended target? And I'm going to answer that right now. No one heard shots. No one reported it that we know of yet. But listen, as we're looking at this, what are the potential motives? Who's the primary target? I want you to think about that. Who was shot the most and who would be the biggest person that you'd have to fight off? Probably the husband. All right. Probably the husband. And the wife got only one bullet wound to her where he got riddled up. So it tells you a lot without telling you a lot. Now, whether the Columbus City crime cameras near the Tepe home captured any useful footage, they're not telling us. And why the window of the time police were seeking video from narrowed from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. How did they get that? Now, if any suspects have been identified and if any potential suspects have been ruled out through the investigation, they haven't told us that. So, in the void of information left by police, online sleuths like myself, Jay from Guilty of Crime, are covering this case and posting theories about who may be responsible. So that's what we're doing today again. All right. Funeral arrangements have been made for the Tepes. As of today, January 5th, no public information on the funerals have been arranged or announced. An online fundraiser for the couple's children has raised more than $135,000. Okay, so I'm going to share that with you real quickly, and you guys can decide. There's a 1 and a 4-year-old that were in the house with their golden doodle, and the parents were brutally murdered. All right. Indy, thank you. I lost 10 pounds in 3 weeks. I'm going off of it. I'd rather have a belly. Congratulations, Clar. Be healthy, girl. We need you. We need you. We need you. We need you. All right. So listen, supporting Spencer and Monique's children. I'm just going to drop this in there. Those children are absolute victims. And hopefully at some point, they're just going to be survivors. Okay. So there's the beautiful couple. I'm going to share a little bit of I love seeing these people now that there's video everywhere. I love it. I love seeing the video of people and the victims. All right. How beautiful they were. They're 75% of 200,000. They got 149,000, a lot of anonymous donors and pretty big ones. But yeah, these people are awesome. Now, Audrey Tepe is the cousin, and that cousin put this up. That cousin is also very, very active on Facebook, and I could dive into a whole bunch of stuff that she's on there saying. But what they really need help with is to get those children the help they need because they don't have a parent. They don't have parents anymore to take care of them, and they're going to need help. All right. So let's take this down. I'm going to give you going to go over the actual murder and some of the things that happened, and then I'm going to have you take a look at I want to look at the charging media document as well. So let me take a look at this. This was the media information. You saw this earlier type of incident, a homicide on December 30th at 9:57 a.m. All right. They arrived at around 9:57. By 10:03, I believe they knew the bodies were in the house. Spencer and Monique Tepe, male and female, white, 37 and 39. All right. Incident. Now, here's their summary report. On December 30th at approximately 10:04 a.m., Columbus Police Patrol officers were dispatched to the 1400 block of 4th Street. Officers arrived at the scene and located 2 adult victims suffering apparent gunshot wounds. Now, CFD Medic 7 personnel arrived and pronounced both victims deceased at 10:11 a.m., not even 7 minutes later. The victims are identified as Mr. Spencer Tepe and Mrs. Monique Tepe. Next of kin have been notified. 2 small children, guys, 1 and 4, were found in the residence unharmed along with their golden doodle. Any information in this case, guys, reach out to Columbus Police at 614-645-4730 or Crime Stoppers 614-461-TIPS. Detective Weiner is the lead investigator on the case, and he's assisted by Detective Miller, as you can see on the document. All right. And there's a right up there. There's an information a QR code at the very top right. If you guys have it on there big. What's up, Carrie? Good to see you, my friend. Casey, how you doing? Everybody, what's up, guys? How you doing? We got a murder mystery. We got 2 children that are victims. 2 children and a dog. Yeah, I'll take the dog. I can use another dog, right? Nah, not so much. All right. So some key considerations to think about is when this happened on December 30th, when they were dispatched at 10:04 and already pronounced dead 7 minutes later. All right. So we've got a lot to go in this case. This just started. And unless the information starts flowing faster and people start calling in, we're not going to know anything. And depending on what law enforcement tells us. Now, Andrea, I'm betting of all bets that they're going to interview that 4-year-old. I bet you they already interviewed that 4-year-old. What they do is they get a child psychiatrist or maybe some child therapist and they go in and talk to him. I guarantee you they already did that by now. Now, Grace, good to see you. Police are staying quiet, collecting evidence, including calls to 911 and video surveillance from the neighborhood. You say they know. Now, listen, how else would they not be seen inside and outside when that area has cameras everywhere? I'm telling y'all, something got caught on camera that we don't know about just yet. Both were shot to death, Carrie. You say, how was she killed? 1 bullet shot to her somewhere. I don't know if it was to the head or the chest. She got 1 bullet shot and he got riddled with bullets all over, spent 9mm shell casings in the house. They didn't go and pick it up. All right. They did not go and pick it up. The wife was shot in the chest and he was shot several times. There you go. All right. All right. Now let's take a look at this, where we are thus far in this investigation as of January 5th, 2026. And Happy New Year to all of you. Love you guys. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share with your community.
Another story that we are following at this hour here, and this is getting nationwide attention as there are a lot of questions here.
That's what I'm
Police in
saying.
Columbus,
Yeah.
Ohio, investigating the murders of a dentist and his wife who were found shot to death inside of their home earlier this week with their crying children still inside. Investigators say Dr. Spencer Tepe and his wife Monique, both in their late 30s, were found dead Tuesday morning inside of their home there in Wineland Park. With no suspect or motive, police say this does appear to be a double homicide, not a murder-suicide, as no weapon was found inside the home.
And guys, that was my initial thought. I was like, I wonder if she shot him up and then took the last bullet to herself, right? Because that's possible. But the way she was shot and the positioning he was shot and the way they've ruled that out. Law enforcement said this is not that. This is not that. This is not self-inflicting wounds. But I am going to tell you, a lot of dentists get caught up in cash games and drugs. I don't know why. I don't know if that's just an easy thing to get when you become a dentist or what the deal is, but I'm almost betting on that they were going for the husband. Maybe he was cheating and there was a jilted lover, but we're going to look at that. We're going to look at all of that. Nothing is ruled out other than a possible self-inflicted, murder. All right. That's ruled out for sure.
However, There were also no signs of any forced entry. You can see the photo of the couple right there on your screen. It's followed by some of the video of the scene itself, which is very active and has been here for days as police work that investigation. Now, officers had responded to the couple's home for a welfare check requested after the doctor failed to show up for work at Athens Dental Depot, where he was a dentist. Local stations there in Columbus say the owner of the dental office had called 911 and explained that he was.
And again, we're going to listen to those calls. We're going to do this all together because you know how we do on Guilty of Crime, right? And I assume that's why each and every one of you is here. Unless you're a hater and you're going to go give me a bad review, I assume you're here to watch what I have to present. All right, let's keep going. There's a lot of information to get through today. We want police to get the information they need.
Was always on time and would have contacted them, but had not been in touch. Now, the owner explained, quote, "This is very out of character for him." A friend of the couple reportedly drove by the home and called police because they could hear children crying inside the home, but no one was answering the door when they kept on knocking. Police say a caller noted actually seeing Spencer's body inside. Public documents revealing Spencer was shot several times while his wife suffered at least one gunshot wound to the chest. Police then confirming there were 2 children inside of the home. Now, again, no suspect has been identified at this point, no weapon found, and this is considered to be very active. So Columbus police are urging anyone with any information to give them a call. We'll keep you updated here.
All right. So you guys are all up to date on what they have, what they found, and what we're looking at here. All right. Hey, just jumped on. I'm from Athens, Ohio. He was my dentist. Very nice man and adorable kids. Man, you see how much I love the crime crew when they come in and they say that was your dentist, Jamie. And you say he's very nice. You didn't see anything weird about him, nothing. Man, that's crazy. I've been wondering who they were, and I live in Ohio, and I was a dental assistant. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do real quick. We're going to come and look at Columbus, Ohio. We're going to take a look at them a little bit closer, and then we're going to start looking at more of the detailed information. We're going to listen to the 911 calls. Now, Rob Misley from 4 years ago posted this, and this is from their wedding. I'm going to play this for a little bit. Just take a look at who these people were. This is January 30th, 2021 in Columbus, Ohio. Can't play the music, but I just want you guys to see a little bit of that's Monique, guys. That's the wife right there. That's the wife that was gunned down. Now you can see they filmed a little wedding video of her getting ready. Beautiful, beautiful wedding. I tried to find any angle that I could. That's her again. All right. They just released a video. I saw that and I just showed it. And Buck, at the very beginning of this show, you guys, I put the video out of a man or a person walking past that is a person of interest. All right. The ex-husband married a man 30 days after they divorced. Yeah, I don't see a threat there. We looked into that. And I didn't see anything. So that is, guys, that is Spencer and Monique right there. Those are them. Under your scars, Happy New Year. Pushing a crap load of snow again in Ontario. Stay warm. Well, thank you. Appreciate you. I'm California cold. All right. What don't you get, Sandra? What are we missing here? All right. So this is the actual couple. I know that it looks like a professional video. They did a fantastic job. So I just wanted you to see the embodiment and the energy and the love that they seemed to have on their wedding day. And this was shared with a lot of media outlets. So I really just wanted to kind of document this. You guys missed the suspect video. I came right on with the suspect video in the very beginning, the person of interest and what they released. So go back and watch that. It's a man pacing back and forth with a hoodie, possibly a man. All right. All right. So, yeah, everything. We don't know how this is, but let's just look.
For your contributions. And
we're not going to watch this. I just want you to.
I'm going to start out with a little story. I was kind of taken back.
All right. We're not going to listen to the whole thing. I just wanted you to see who they are and what they're like.
And for Monique, all I can say is this, Spencer,
That's
as far as I'm
Spencer.
concerned, she can be an 80-year-old lady walking down the streets and I'll just be yelling, "That's my baby."
Spencer, what can I say? From day one, I knew you were something special. I had quite a journey to get to you, countless bad bumble dates, wrong relationships, and waterfalls of tears. But it was worth every cringing second because it led me to you. Throughout all of this, I knew that God was guiding me to my person, and that when I met him, it would be the most magical thing ever.
Dude.
And boy, is that an understatement.
If this isn't heartbreaking, I don't know what is. Their 5th anniversary was coming up. This was 2021. I don't get it either. They seemed picture perfect, but something was behind that veil. I'm telling you, something was behind the veil. They had ring cameras and traffic camera on the street right in front of where they live, and law enforcement is asking for that if you have any. All right, you're feeling guilty being so invested in this. Is real life stuff. Happened 8 minutes for me. I'm crying, dude. And M. Buckles, I don't blame you. We are on true crime every day, and I feel like I'm invested in every case. So I don't blame you, man. All right, let's just watch a few more minutes, and then I got so much to get to, you guys. I can't sit there and just watch the whole thing. Or I would.
I finally found my lobster, and it honestly couldn't be a person with a more beautiful heart. I will love you forever, and I'm so lucky to be Mrs. Tepe.
By the power vested in me by the
He kind of looks like a goofball, right? It's easy to kind of see who he is, who she is.
Universal Life Church and by the state of Ohio, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Give me a kiss to the right. So everyone,
Larry does not.
I'd like to present to you Mr. and Mrs. Tepe.
All right, so this is the couple that was just found dead in their home. No break-in. Nobody harmed the children or the dog, but yet these two are no longer with us, shot to death. And it was no murder-s, if you know what I'm saying. All right, so let's get back into it. I don't know about jealousy, but I'm thinking there's got to be something with money or the business, because lots of times dentists tend to get into not only just financial ruins, but drugs. So I don't know. I mean, right now I'm making different suppositions, but we're going to go over, was it somebody they knew? We're going to listen to the 911 calls and all that right now. And hopefully this gives you a little bit more insight, guys. All right, so let's get into that. Let's listen to the 911 calls and the basics, and talk with experts about these murders and what the hell happened. Why is this beautiful couple that didn't make it to their 5-year wedding? Why did this happen? All right. Why? I don't get it. I'll see if I can find the video and play it again. I know it's always money, sex, drugs, or jealousy, but we looked into the X. And it was nothing. Yeah, he seems like he was goofy and made her laugh. I don't get it. What's up? What's up, Sandra and Sue Lawson? How y'all doing? Good to see you. Yeah, Mab says my wife is in the dental business, and yes, they've seen some weird shit. Me too, Mab. I've seen some real weird shit in the dental field with dentists in particular. So it's really weird. Just this whole thing just doesn't make sense. All right. So there's some things to it. All right, guys, let's get into dentist wife murdered. Was the killer someone they knew? As we also got to listen to the 911 calls that led up to this. Laundering money, pushing drugs through the deal. Maybe he owed one of his partners money and he didn't pay back. Like, we just don't know. Yeah, we're gonna see if it's somebody he knew. That's what we're gonna talk about. Is it a targeted hit, and was it somebody that they knew? And the only way we could do that is by listening to the 911 calls and with Brian Enton's expert guest.
I'll explain in this episode of Brian Enton. All right, guys. So the very mysterious murder of an Ohio dentist and his wife in their home while their young children were there, it is sparking obviously a lot of concern and also a lot of questions about who may have done this.
All right, now this isn't going to it's not going to give you a whole recap of what we talked about. We're just going to get into this double homicide, and was it a targeted hit by somebody they knew? Love you too, twin mommy. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Mo says it was a family member over money. That's my theory. Well, thank you for your theory. I do appreciate that. Hit that like button. Midnight Lace, new year, new beginning, member for 4 months on it. Got it. All right, I'm gonna look for that video again of the person of interest that they want you to identify.
And there are some theories here, and I'm going to get to those
Theories,
with my
baby.
criminologist guest in just a minute. But first, let me tell you the latest on the
Yep.
case. Spencer Tepe, a dentist, and his wife Monique, they were found on Tuesday after.
I'm not going to go over all this, but
I think
we are going to go over the
they were
911
there
calls.
when their parents were murdered. I'm going to play you some of the 911
Yes.
calls in a second from concerned coworkers of Spencer, the dentist. But again, it's so sad because you're going to hear in the 911 calls that one of the coworkers says he heard one of the kids crying inside the house and could see Spencer's body. While police don't have a murder weapon, they did find 9mm shell casings at the scene. So that's significant, and that could really help.
That is really significant, guys. That's like leaving a fingerprint. All right, leaving shell casings, leaving anything behind like that, a knife, bullet casings, any of that is like leaving a fingerprint nowadays, which I love for this case because I feel like we're many steps closer to finding out who did it and where that gun belongs
with the
or who
investigation.
it belongs
Now, as
to.
for those 911 calls, first let me play you the call from Spencer's boss, who is concerned because.
All right, now remember, these people were loved. People didn't just say, oh, screw it, they didn't come in today, F them. They're idiots. All right, M-Bucks is not a very good area. They're trying to build it back up, but Wyland Park is surrounded by the hood. And I understand that. I'm here in San Jose. One block is nice. The next block could be not so nice. It seems they were really loved from the people and friends. That's what I was just saying. Amen to you. I feel ya.
Spencer did not show up to work. Listen to this.
Please, Tech 107.
Yes, I would like to ask for a wellness check on an individual at their home. Well, I'm currently in the state of Florida. I'm on vacation, but this individual, Spencer, works with me, and he did not show up to work this morning, and we cannot get a hold of him or his family.
He didn't show up to work?
Correct.
Okay. Did he have medical problems or?
No, and he's been reliable, and we cannot get in touch with him, his wife, his family, anybody that lives in that house.
Oh, by the way, guys, I'm about to gift 5 membership, so make sure that you have your gifting option on so I can gift you guys a membership, all right? Like, subscribe, and drop a message so that you can get a membership, all right? I do appreciate every single one of you. Thank you guys for being here. Let's listen to those calls, and then we're going to talk about theories because at this point, all we have are the facts of the case, what law enforcement had given us, and what the family's saying. All right, that's it. But I'm gonna look for that. I'm gonna donate memberships right now, and I'm also going to try to find that video again real quick. I don't know how many people would call 911 over a boss. Exactly, and it wasn't just one person. It was several. Debbie, first time join. Shout out to you. Welcome to the crime crew. Good to see you. Amethyst, Haze Adventures. It's a strange case, but I feel like we're getting a lot closer.
Okay. So
There's
you're
2
in
kids in the
Florida.
home. I'm in Florida. I own the business. I was informed by my employees that he was not at work, and he runs the office.
Did you receive information that he may have been involved in an accident or?
I can't gift.
No, ma'am. I just know that he is he is always on time, and he would contact us if there was any issues whatsoever. And I just don't know how else to say this. We're very, very concerned because this is very out of character, and we can't get in touch with his wife, which is probably the more concerning thing.
Okay.
That's
We will
interesting.
send somebody over as soon as we have an officer.
So y'all can see who the responsible one is, right? The wife. The wife is the one. He probably went around, did his, his dentist stuff that he does, and they got to do their ordering and keeping up. And you call the wife, and oh yeah, Spencer's, Spencer's, whatever. He's coming in. He's running late. That's already, yeah. Happy New Year to everyone. Such a sad case. Poor babies. Agreed. Sounds sus. All right, let's keep going. Why didn't one of those people in the area make the 911 call? That's a good question. Again, all we have right now is a little bit of facts and a little bit of theory.
Available, okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
Uh-huh.
Okay, let me
Bye-bye.
And there's also a 911 call several of them actually, from coworkers who actually went to the house. Apparently they were just like panicked. He didn't show up to work, totally uncommon for him. And so they just decided to drive over to the house, and then they also called 911. Listen to this.
Our boss did not report to work. We haven't been able to get a hold of him for 3 hours. We're on site and we can hear. Okay, I talked to somebody there. Okay, I'm just making sure somebody called. Yeah, I just got a call from somebody and set it back up for dispatch.
You see,
Okay,
there's
are
multiple.
you there? Because you're not showing that you're.
There's multiple people calling all at the same time, guys. All right, you can send a super chat to Jay and ask the gift. Yes, I can. You guys, if you want to send me a super sticker or a super chat, then I can gift for you if you're having a problem. All right, my girl Tiff says this dispatcher's a bitch. Sometimes they are, especially guys, especially when multiple people call in for the same thing. It's like they get irritated.
No, I'm en route there. 911, what's the location of your emergency? Okay, what's the emergency there? Police or medical?
Maybe both, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know.
We had a call out there. They knocked on the front door and back door multiple times and there was no answer.
Yeah, no answer. I can hear kids inside, and I swear I think I heard one yell, but we can't get in. At this point, I don't know if I need to break the door in or just get in the house or what. So.
Okay, were you out there when the police was out there?
I wasn't. I just got here about 5 minutes ago.
Okay, all right. Well,
Okay, remember, the police went out there the first time, nobody answered, and they left. They came out and they left, right? The children were screaming. They heard that afterwards, but they went back an hour later. Why?
we'll send them back out to you.
Okay, thanks.
Bye. We've got several calls on that. What's changed since the last person I talked to?
There's a body.
There's a body.
Inside?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me get you on the line with the medic, okay? Stay on the line.
What's going on there? There's a body. Our friend wasn't answering his phone. We just did a wellness check. We just came here, and he appears dead. There's blood. He's laying next to his bed, off of his bed, and there's blood. I can't get closer to see more than that.
Okay, so you can tell he's not breathing or anything.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it like kind of like you know? Does he look like?
It doesn't. It's cuddled. I can't lie.
Okay, all right, understand. Okay, and then when was the last time somebody spoke to him?
Yesterday, I suppose.
Yesterday. Okay. Yeah. How old is he?
37 and 39, guys. All right.
Drug user or anything like that?
No. Okay.
All right. Just because that's a really young age.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. All right. We're on our way.
So the Tepe family released a statement, a family statement on behalf of everyone in the family. And very sad. It says, our family is devastated by the tragic and senseless loss of Spencer and Monique. They were extraordinary people whose lives were filled with love, joy, and deep connection to others. Spencer was a devoted and proud father, a loving partner, and a friend to everyone he met. He was intelligent, warm, and endlessly welcoming. A graduate of The Ohio State University and a member of the American Dental Association, Spencer was fluent in Spanish and deeply committed to serving others.
All right, guys, we're going to go back to that police released Ness video. It's very, very important. This is what came out just hours ago. And police released a video, and then I'll go back to that. This is the video, guys. It's important. This is the only video that they've released, and this is the only thing they've said outside of what they reported on initially. There's a person of interest in the death of Spencer and Monique Tepe seen on this video. All right, Columbus police released the footage of a man who they described as a person of interest seen near the home where a Wineland Park couple was killed. Here it is. I'll just play it for a minute. There. Thank you. All right, I'm just going to turn the music off for a second. You guys see what's happening. This is the only video that they have right now or that they've released. Dale, thank you so much for the $5 super sticker. All right, and then they're going to go back to commercial. Let's see it. Let's watch it one more time. This is on. It's on the news. It hasn't. I haven't seen it on YouTube yet, and so that's the only reason I have to play through these videos. All right, and this is totally different. So let's go back and one more time. Let's take a look. Let me refresh this and. Yeah, I mean, I guess they're not playing it again. They went to something else. So, all right, we saw that. You guys saw that. This is the second time we've showed it. This person is near where 2 people were brutally murdered, shot to death. Not one person has called for a check when I was not at work. Exactly, the jab. And that's what I was trying to get at. Like, yeah, I've never had anyone call a person of interest when I didn't show up. I assumed that they just assumed that I wasn't coming in, right? So I don't know. But people said that he didn't do that. That's not within his character, and it wasn't within the wife's character to not do that.
He gave back through Big Brothers, Big Sisters. He was a huge Bengals and Buckeyes fan and lived life with energy, laughter, and generosity. Monique was a loving patient and loving and patient and joyful mother whose warmth defined her. With a background in childhood education, she brought care and intention into everything she did. She was an excellent baker, a thoughtful planner, and someone who found joy in bringing people together. Her kindness made people feel instantly at home. Together, Spencer and Monique shared.
And guys, thank you for saying that, M-Bucks. He was on the bedroom floor on the bottom because he would wake up early and didn't want to disturb her, allegedly. Now, you remember the caller said that they saw his body on the ground, and that's when things picked up. All right. Use Amethyst says that's weird too. I mean, my employees might question if I wasn't at work by a certain time, but I don't think they'd call the police. Same with me. They would not call a welfare check, and police would not be pounding on my door if I didn't come to work. All right. The hoodie guy was caught walking by there. And what we saw is what we saw. When he came back that way, then that's what we saw. So yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it? All right.
A beautiful, strong, and deeply happy relationship. They love to travel, to laugh, and to build a life rooted in love. They were proud parents of 2 beautiful children and their beloved golden doodle, and they created a home filled with warmth, happiness, and connection. We are heartbroken beyond words. While no outcome can ever undo this loss, our family is committed to seeing this tragedy fully and fairly brought to justice and to honoring Spencer and Monique by protecting the future of the children they loved so deeply.
I'm joined now by Dr. Casey Jordan.
All right, now before we get into Casey Jordan, because we're going to talk about some suppositions. I just found that video I found the video on YouTube, and the reason I want to play it again is because Mab makes a good point. Is he walking back and forth? I want to see a little better. So let's take a look at this together, guys. This video just goes one time. So thank you. We need Mab. We need investigators here. All right. This is the man that was walking by at the time of the double homicide. All right. And that was it. You see him going that way. And I don't see him coming back that way. But in the other video, they showed him kind of walking back and forth. Right. So let's take a look one more time. It's only 23 seconds. This is what the police released hours ago. This is a person of interest. All right. He was walking by the crime scene at the times law enforcement is questioning. All right. There's no sound on it, but it's somebody's Nest camera. And we've got a guy walking by. Again, I don't see him going back and forth. All right. I only see him walking once. And that was a good question, Mab. With him having children, I thought maybe an emergency with the kids and probably emergency room, possibly a family emergency. I wouldn't have called. Right. He's not meandering. No, he's walking by, just walking by. Yeah. He wasn't meandering. He wasn't walking back and forth. That's it. Just one freaking time. One thing going on here. And yeah, that's all you could make out. I don't even know how you would see a height or weight. I guess you can match that with him walking by the car or like the height of a trash can or something. But I mean, there's not people walking out there, guys. There's nobody between 2 and 5 a.m., but this guy is. All right. And I ask why, same as you. All right. Let's listen to what the criminologist has to say. Let's talk about the theories in this case, because right now that's what we have.
Criminologist. I really appreciate you joining me, Dr. Jordan. It's nice to meet you. I haven't met you before. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Good to be here.
So what do you make of this situation
Yep.
in Ohio? You know, I was thinking when we had this set up to talk that maybe there would be some developments over the last couple of days, but there seems like there's been nothing. I mean, it's basically the same information as when we started covering this.
Except for that newly released footage. And if you haven't heard of this case at all, right? So newly released footage has come out and statements from the family. Cheeto says my coworkers would question if I just didn't show up. And yeah, my coworkers would question it, but they wouldn't come banging on my house with the law enforcement. That's all I'm saying. My dentist office would freak out if I had patients that didn't call, didn't show. That's true.
Do you think police know more than they're letting on, or do you think this is really just like a whodunit situation?
It's one or the other. I mean, when you don't get enough information from the police, and we see this all the time, it can mean one of two things: that they are getting close and they don't want to tip their hand to the suspect, especially if that suspect is in the very inner circle.
Or they don't know shit, which is a complete opposite of the scale. All right, guys, are you still here? Come on, guys, put your theories in there. Hit that like button. Let's get going. I know it's Monday, but come on, y'all got some pep in your step after the holiday. I know you do.
Of the victims, and thinks that they're off scot-free. The police are going to keep that ruse going of, oh, we've got a manhunt going for the slayer, while in fact they are interviewing the friends and family of the victims and trying to gain their trust so that they can give them, if you will, enough rope to hang themselves with it when the time comes. The other scenario, as you mentioned, is it's a whodunit. They are clueless. We have no idea who this person could be. But that's in the world of criminology, that would be really unusual, that this was a 100% outlier stranger slaying, where somebody just randomly enters a house, kills two people, leaves the two children unharmed, and goes off into the night, leaving it looked like, the house locked and nobody the wiser. So I think that it's probably the former, that they have some idea of who this person might be.
And I do too, guys. Again, remember these details. Remember these key details. All right. They got married in their home. Oh, man. Yeah. Did you see that beautiful wedding? Did you see the beautiful wedding? Now, keep in mind, guys, we haven't got back the reports or anything. Right now, the official cause of death still hasn't been released, pending other details, right? The coroner still has to do toxicology reports. They have to release the autopsy findings. But right now, what they are saying is, it was several gunshot wounds on Spencer, and Monique was shot in the chest just once. So his wife, Monique, one shot to the chest, gone. Him riddled with bullets. We don't know how many yet. All right. But he seems like the target if there were one.
Let's hope they do. And that we might have a break in the case soon. But of course, the more they tell us, the more it compromises their ability to prosecute that case when the time comes. So we've got to let the police do their job.
And I guess, like you said, they might, if they do have a person of interest, I guess they may not want that person to know.
Correct. We see this all the time. I mean, I don't know how many of our listeners can remember back to Susan Smith. Susan Smith was a woman who killed her two children and blamed a black man for carjacking. And they just let her get on TV and talk. They just kept.
Remember, let's look for things like that too. We were just talking about that case last week, and Mab, jealousy is a possibility, but from whom, right? They're already checking cell phones and data and Nest cameras and cameras. Was Spencer having an affair and he got riddled with bullets? What did he owe his office? Did he owe the office money or a co-partner money? Why did she only get shot once in the chest and he got riddled? I don't get that. Now, Valerie says, I question that because he was shot multiple times. Seems if it was a pro, he'd have taken him out in the first. No, not necessarily, Valerie. If somebody's upset or mad like that, they're going to overkill. And overkill is multiple shots to his body, to his chest, to the area. That's more personal. With her, it's like he just wanted to get her out of the way, but somebody was really pissed at Spencer. All right. That's what I'm trying to figure out, Mab. I don't know all of those things just yet. I think the Nescamp person of interest looked like someone the news interviewed, but I don't know who he was because they didn't say. No, they didn't. But why didn't they say? right? He was a target. She was a witness. The children were a witness too. And Indy, there was no break-ins. There was nothing on the windows. There was nothing of a break-in. It's like they just let them in, or even they had a key to the house, or maybe they had key codes and they used the key code, right? Yes, Dale, a lot of hate went into the bullets into Spencer, right? It was overkill.
Nodding their heads like they believed her story, while in fact they were doing a very thorough investigation, which they knew from the outset would lead back to Susan. But they just wanted to let her think, we are clueless. We're going to go look for that culprit, that black man who took your car, when in fact they knew all along it was her. And in the inner circle of family and friends, especially if you want to think about a different case, Christopher Watts in Colorado, they just kept letting him talk, about his missing wife and children while they found the girlfriend. Okay, so we see this all the time. Scott Peterson and Lacey Peterson, and the police just keep nodding while in fact they're getting closer and closer to making an arrest. So I think that's what they're doing right now.
Yeah, and I saw it with Koberger too. I was in Idaho covering Koberger for months when it felt like they knew nothing, and we were actually being really hard on the police. Like, how could they know nothing? And everybody's freaked out, and the community is, on edge. And then when the probable cause came out, it turned out like, oh my gosh, all along
they knew
a ton of information, and they were making a lot of progress, and they just weren't telling anyone.
But they've got to get this evidence. I mean, the only news that has really come out lately is those 9mm shells, and I'm sure we'll talk about that. But they've got to find somebody who links back to that gun. So
9mm, guys.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. So, he was shot. The dentist was shot multiple times, and the wife, according to police, was shot one time in the chest. What does that tell you?
All right. Again, we're going to get into that. What does that tell you? 4 and 1 were the children. April became a member. What is up? Thank you. Does anybody have the video of the interview that you say is sus? I'd love to find that video. Now, I'm looking at other videos where Columbus police are asking the community for assistance. But if Columbus police interviewed a person in the case, maybe a neighbor that you guys think is sus, I'd like to review that, because if we review that, then maybe it does look like that person. Maybe the stature is, maybe, everything is on the table right now except for a murder unaliving. It's a code door, and man, it could be the people that installed the door. Thank God the babies weren't hurt. Unfortunately, I'm getting affair vibes or denial. Me too. I'm getting overkill vibes from the husband, all right, or for the husband. They said one channel he was shot 2 times. I've not heard them say 2 times. I heard them say multiple shots to the chest area or to his body. They didn't even say chest. Multiple shots to the body, and wife was shot once. Right. That's it. All right, let's keep going. I'm going to try to find that video.
Well, multiple times on the husband, in my mind, means that the husband was the primary victim and the wife was the secondary victim. That's overkill. That's unnecessary. That would probably indicate a level of rage, or at least certainty. We want to make 100% certain that this guy is dead. And the wife was, ancillary. Just, she would have, if they were killed in their beds, because indications are he was found next to his bed, that she needed to be silenced. She may have been shot first to make her quiet.
Yep.
And then if the husband woke up upon hearing that gunshot, he may needed to have been shot several times.
Now, listen, guys, if you're just some random person that wants to steal something from this well-to-do couple, I'm going to tell you right now, he was shot several times. I mean, I'm reading that right from the news article, lazy journalist. We don't have exactly the number of shots, because remember, they still have to do the autopsy, pull the bullets out, etc. All right, that's what we're wondering. Is the suspect on foot? We do have a person of interest on foot. All right, now it says he was downstairs on the floor dead. All right, that's how they saw him from the window. And yeah, maybe he was messing around. But listen, guys, the farthest thing from anybody's mind when you're committing a crime, somebody's doing a robbery, the last thing that they want to do is take somebody's life. And if they take somebody's life, they're going to want to do it as easy and quick and not messy as possible. So in my opinion, it was massive overkill for him, and her was just one shot to get her out of the way. All right, let's keep going, because I do have that interview with some weird looking guy.
Because he was fighting or rising or trying to attack the shooter. So multiple times really shows that I think that the husband was the primary victim. That I hate to say it, because this family, by all accounts, loved each other, looking forward. This couple was going to have their 5-year anniversary. No one indicates any marital problems. And yet we have seen hundreds of times that even in the face of nothing wrong under the sun, something is going on behind the scenes. And I'm not saying we have any evidence of this, but very often this comes back to a love triangle or something else nefarious, like
Ding, ding, ding. I'm saying either a love triangle or money issues, right? There's a lot of cash flowing through a dentistry. Not a stranger because they knew about the children. I absolutely don't think it was a stranger anyway, because a stranger would have been no holds barred on anybody. And they certainly wouldn't have been like, let's leave the kids and the dog, huh? Again, people don't go into a house to not take anything and then just shoot you up. All right, this just doesn't happen.
debts or financial ruin or something was going on, I think, with the husband. We may find out it was the wife, but I think the husband was the primary target.
Well, and
Maybe.
they just look so perfect in the pictures. I mean, we've seen it before in other cases, but you look at they just look like the most beautiful family, and he's a dentist, and I think that's one of the reasons this is getting so much attention. Is it's like, well, what could have happened?
Well, I've got to tell you, when I first heard they were found and the police said it doesn't look like a murder-suicide, I was like, but it sounds like a murder-suicide. It sounds like, and I was trying to go with some, kind of potboiler mystery fictional plot. How could this have happened? Because murder-suicide would make sense, except for, of course, we all know there is no gun found at the scene, no gun.
Yep.
But I was thinking, is it possible that he was attacking her or hurting the children, or she found out about an affair and shot him in a rage?
And you guys hear this? I mean, again, these are all suppositions based on what we know and what we don't know. Yeah, Jen's a Gypsy's picking up what I'm putting down. So many possibilities, but I got to tell you, it's easy to rule things out. When you start ruling things out, okay, it wasn't a robbery. Okay, it wasn't a murder right? Okay, it wasn't. It's easy to start to narrow it down and talk about it and say, oh, there it is. NorCal SoGal. Happy New Year, my friend. Good to see you. All right, hi, guilty of crime. Did you live close to Ohio State University? Somebody had a key code or was let in the house. They knew the person who did this, in my opinion. They did. I don't know how close they lived to Ohio State University, but they both attended Ohio State University. And absolutely, I'm thinking they had a key or a key code. Nowadays, we all have key codes, guys. All right. It's a little bit scary, but we also, I got to tell you, 75% of the time, in my opinion, the perpetrator is somebody that knew or was close to a family member. All right. Unless you're like, and even Brian Koberger, I was going to say that wasn't random. In my opinion, Brian Koberger stalked them. Again, in my opinion, just my opinion, that he knew what he was doing. He was pissed at those girls and it was overkill. He was going to get them back. Right. So again, even he knew them. Somebody close, somebody saw him. It's a 3-dentist practice. Well, thank you. I can look that up as well. I haven't even really looked into the dentistry practice, but I know a lot about dental companies and things that go on. All right. You see the highlight reel. All right, let's keep going.
Was like, oh my goodness, what have I done? I cannot raise my children with them knowing I killed their father. And then somehow shot herself and secreted the gun or disposed of the gun in a way they would never find it to make it look like a homicide. I mean, that really is the stuff of novels. There is no evidence whatsoever without a gun on the scene that matches those 9mm shells. There is no evidence at all that this is a murder-suicide. Whoever did this took a gun with them. So we're back to square one. Who would have done this? Who would have shot both of them and left the children unharmed, which is key. I even thought, well, how old is the oldest child? They said under the age of 6. So I was thinking a 5-year-old may have found the gun and hid it. But we just don't have any evidence that a gun is on the scene. So murder-suicide is out the window.
Yeah, guys, again, that's a big part of the case. There's no weapon there. The bullet casings of a 9mm were there and no weapon was there. Nobody owns one that we know of, or they would have said, well, there was a 9mm registered to the home. That didn't happen either. So what did happen? I think a female will be less likely to hurt the dogs and the kids and the dog. Yeah, interesting. But women don't typically use guns either. So interesting. All right.
I wonder if the kids were sleeping. Because I
So
think the really little one
I
obviously
hope
wouldn't be old enough
so.
to give police any information, but a 5-year-old
4-year-old.
around that age.
There was a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old, and I guarantee they already have a child psychiatrist or therapist out there talking to that child. And they don't have to ask straight up questions like, hey, did you see your mom and dad get shot? But they can add questions leading up. Did you see anybody at the door? What time? Whatever, right? Whatever a kid at 4 years old, they're smart. I wonder if the family members had a drug problem asking for monetary help from the couple. Nothing has come out about that, though.
Could provide some kind of description.
Yes, and don't ever underestimate the ability of a 5-year-old to say what they know. We've seen 5-year-olds give incredibly important testimony when they have seen things. But I very much suspect, and they are not even.
Now, some of you guys were saying about the house being a fixer-upper, but I mean, it was a $702,000 4-bedroom. Now, in San Jose, that's nothing, right? But they're saying it was a beautiful 4-bedroom, 3.5 bathroom, 2,552 square foot place. I mean, they're making it sound like it was a very, very nice place. Again, I haven't seen the inside or anything, but and when they start throwing out numbers like 700,000, I'm like, okay, what does that mean? In San Jose, you can't even get a condo for 700,000. That's nothing. So is that good for that area? They're claiming that it is. Also, the motives, jealousy can mean a love triangle or money, right? Either one. Spencer's practice was in Athens, so it wasn't even local to Columbus. Isn't that like an hour and a half away, guys? That's weird. All right. I'm a little concerned about. Does anybody that know the doctor personally, do they know if he was there? Like maybe he stayed there for the week and then grow back? If that's the case, if he went all the way from where he was, all the way from his home, and he drove to work every day. I hear it's an hour and 10 minutes. Some people say an hour and 30 minutes. Here's the question. Was he driving over to his dentistry and then maybe renting a place, an Airbnb, staying with someone for those days and then coming home? Then we have a real problem here. All right. The article said it's about 70. Yeah, I saw that. About an hour and a half. All right. Wasn't the shot more time? Yes, he was shot all up. They didn't give us a number because he was the main target and she was a witness, or he tried to. That's my theory too. They bought it for 700, but the last selling price of that house, guys, was around $450,000. All right. So the place had gone up, even though they paid 700, it last sold for 487,000. It was freaking built in 2020. All right. So, I mean, I don't know. I see it being personal. Okay. You say it's a fixer-upper near a raggedy neighborhood. Okay.
Releasing the time of death. They're not letting us know. Did it happen at midnight, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 6 a.m.? They're not letting us know that. That would help us know a lot more about who this culprit might be. And I think the children probably were sleeping, and at least the older one awoke to find this horrific scene, and that's why they heard screaming and crying from the child inside the house. But what that child remembers is going to be the trauma of discovering his or her parents dead. And with a child with trauma, they kind of fold in on themselves, and their brains, in the interest of self-preservation, just kind of squeegee out that memory.
Thank God,
so
right?
They might remember hearing something, but probably can't tell time, won't know what time it was, and just will eventually forget everything, which is fine, about what they saw that morning, which is what we hope for.
So sad. Like the one friend / coworker who went by the house, heard the crying in the house, saw, like you mentioned, saw the dad on the ground, but also heard the crying of the kids. So you do have to imagine like what they must have been thinking, those kids.
I know. Yes. I mean, the children are, I think, in all of our hearts. Their lives will never be the same.
When we talk about the bullets, how important are those? I mean, there's testing they can do, right, to then track back to which gun those bullets came from.
Yep.
Yes, with the ballistics, they will be able to match a gun to those shell casings. Now, this seems okay. This killer was organized enough to take the gun with them.
Right. And guys, I'm looking at, deeper information, and family members on the audio said that they had 2 22s there. All right. Do you guys hear that? There was no 9mm in that house. All right. Jay, the husband, I did. The husband was downstairs, and I believe her body was found up. right? They could see him through the window and not her. But listen, you say where I live, lots of people commute almost 2 hours. If the money's good, you travel. And I'm in San Jose. So I know everybody travels in San Jose either to San Francisco or they come from somewhere else to San Jose. All right. What is this guy? He keeps putting get rated on here. All right. So listen, let's keep going. I'm going to take a look at the place. I just kind of want to see what it looks like, but I got to tell you guys, they didn't have a 9mm. Somebody on dispatch talked about a 22 caliber gun. Maybe they possibly owned a gun. Police got a warrant and entered the house and found the children. The friend who saw Spencer's body through a window told police that he had last spoken to Spencer the day before. So when you look at robbery, then you start looking at the house last sold for $487,000. And they bought it for $702,000 I'm sorry. It sold for 400 and then it was estimated on Redfin at 702. So I actually like to see the inside of this house because I'd like to see if what this house looked like, right? It looks like a pretty nice place. All right, let's keep going.
But not organized enough to pick up the shells. So that shows, even the best, most perfect murder has 10 to 20 to 100 mistakes, and the shells were the mistake. They will, if they find a gun of interest, be able to match it to those bullet casings. So that's going to be incredibly important evidence. That and DNA, if there's any DNA on the scene, but there could be none, absolutely none.
Yep.
I mean, if this person walked in, walked out, there's no footprints, there's no carpet that could have left a good solid footprint that would indicate, is this a man's shoe, a woman's shoe, a boot, a snow, let's just hope the police have very carefully processed this scene. They have some DNA, but in a case like this, which is a gunsling where somebody was probably wearing gloves, it was cold out, may have taken their shoes off and were walking in their socks. I mean, there may be no DNA at the scene. So those bullet casings may be the best thing we have, unless we have some video evidence. So Brian, I noticed
again, guys, I believe it's going to be video evidence and it's going to be the DNA, or I'm not the DNA, the ballistic. It's gonna be something on it in that vicinity. Now, you guys, since you guys are talking about the house of cost of house and the bedroom and and all that, let me just hop off here. Let's hop off this. You guys know how we do on Guilty of Crime. It's like, gotta keep going. All right, look, here's the house, guys. 1411 North. This is the house, guys. This is their house right there. Right? And the reason I know it's the house, because look at the pictures, number one, and then the address. Hold on, let me go back. There's the address right there, realtor.com, 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath, 2,552 square feet, like I said earlier, on a 4,356 lot. 2020, it sold for $487,000. Right now, it's valued at over $700,000, according to the article. And then you take a look here and let's see together what the inside look like. Does that look like a fixer-upper to y'all? It doesn't look like that to me, guys. She was a stay-at-home mom when she became a mommy. Happy New Year, Sirius. All right, look at this. Here it is, guys. This doesn't look like a fixer-upper to me, and it was built in 2020. That was only 6 years ago. It looks pretty damn nice, right? Again, I live in the Bay Area. One neighborhood can look like this, and the next block can be a piece of shit house. But this doesn't look like a fixer-upper to me, guys. And again, it only sold for $400,000, but now it's almost $300,000 over that. So, I mean, you guys tell me, is this a fixer-upper? Maybe because of the carpet? I mean, there maybe needs some painting here and there. Nobody likes carpet. I don't. But, I mean, look at this. Does anyone dispute that this is a pretty nice damn house? They even got like a downstairs. Look at that. 4 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, and there's a backyard. Although I do not like houses that are stacked up like that. I don't like that. I hate houses that are stacked up. What's up, Guilty of Crime? It's me, Alex, cooking with Mr. Good Looking. What's up, my friend? All right, so there's that house, guys. We're going to finish the suppositions, but it gives you an idea of what we're looking at here. All right, there's the layout. All right, there's the layout. We got the media room, the living room, the garage. It's actually not too bad. Not too bad of a layout here. All right. So once we know where everybody was found, it might be a little easier to kind of look at that. But right now, that's what we're looking at, and we're gonna get back to what in the hell happened here. And I still want to show you the interview with the weirdo guy. All right.
The TV film crew footage that we saw, a ring camera on the front of the door and a
Yeah.
keypad on the front of the door. And that keypad could be the holder of the DNA, except that whoever came along and let themselves into the house because they said the friend was able to access the house. I'm thinking that they had the code. How many people pushed that keypad before they went and tested it for DNA, or fingerprints? That's going to be key too.
Just back to the bullet casings. That would be a pretty.
Let's talk about the bullet casings and M Bucks. I appreciate you saying that. We definitely are mindful over here on Guilty of Crime, and we cover these cases so that they can get more outreach, so family members can have a place to talk. Anybody that needs a house or needs a place to discuss or feel open, that's what we do here on Guilty of Crime, and we absolutely remember that these are real people and these are real children that have to grow up without their parents under this circumstance. So I appreciate you saying that. We absolutely do that over here on Guilty of Crime. That's why we exist. All right. We're a true crime channel. We're not a drama channel at all.
Big mistake, wouldn't it? If you managed to get in, no forced entry, get away, why not just like pick up the casings?
Because that's a time consumer. And once those, when the bullets are fired, especially at close range, even people who expect they know how they will feel might be surprised at how completely, it's the smell of the smoke.
All right, guys, did you want to, did we hit that goal? Let me know if we got the goal and you guys want me to give out a Guilty of Crime book today. All right. Who wants a book from me? It's about my life. Jay from Guilty of Crime. It's my book that I wrote and it's about me. It's a funny take and it's only for adults, right? You got to be 18 and over to read it. Me in my head, I speak foul in that book. So, okay, M Bucks is interested. All right, we'll give it away after this. They were trying to spin the story as if they were rich until they showed the alleyway near the house. That's interesting. All right, you guys are all in then. After this, we're going to give out a book and thank you, MM. Yeah, it's a super lighthearted, easy read, lots of graphics because I'm a visual person. All right, look at Mab. Mab's like, me, give it all. The king of Turtle Island.
The sight of the blood and the spatter and literally the smell of copper in the air from that blood can be completely disorienting. They underestimate the sound, even with a silencer, of that. And the full adrenaline cascades on them of what they have done. And it's flight. They immediately want to get out of there. The panic sets in immediately. And in that panic, especially in the dark, it can be incredibly difficult to get on the floor and find those bullet casings, especially if they're under the bed or have jettisoned, to a far wall. You've got to have light. You've got to turn the lights on. The children may have immediately started crying because they heard the sound. Neighbors and dogs might start, lights might be going on. Dogs might be barking. They just get out. So this is a person who thought they had the situation under control, but surely a first-time homicide at that moment of impact, if you will, wanted to get out immediately. That's my best case scenario.
All right, so there's a lot of scenarios in here, guys. There really is, but I do want you guys to look at right after the police search, suspect after dentist, wife found murdered, and this interview with this weird frumpy looking guy. Sometimes you'll go back and you'll find a witness on a news station talking to the media, and you'll find that they were intertwined into the case to find out what was happening, but they were actually involved. All right, so let's take a look at this. I'm glad somebody brought that up. But let's take a look and let's keep going. I'm here for it, guys. This case needs more outreach. So if you are a true crime channel and you're covering something else, consider at least covering this one time. All right, because if you're covering Jack and Lily, I respect that. I cover that too. But right now, this needs attention. All right, I don't know what 420 is all about, but y'all like 420. All right, look at this.
Section of 4th Street and 8th Avenue.
Take a look, guys.
Vineland Park, as investigators try to piece together what led to a man and a woman being shot to death inside this home.
So I know that's a lot of questions still out there. It's very early for us to try to answer those right now.
Police say this does not appear to be a murder-suicide. They also say there were no signs of forced entry and no gun has been found. Officers were called to the home for a welfare check, where they found the 2 bodies.
The caller stated they were concerned because they hadn't heard from their employee, didn't show up for work, and they were just concerned that maybe something was wrong with their employee.
Police also found 2 children inside the home, both under the age of 6 and both unharmed. People who knew the homeowners stopped by throughout the day. One person who did not want to go on camera described them as kind and said their heart breaks for the children.
All right, now look at this neighborhood again, guys. I know I got Mab here, right? Mab's our detective. Look at the neighborhood. Look at the Ring doorbell you see right out the gate. When you look in the neighborhood, there's Ring doorbells on almost all of the surrounding areas, and there's a camera right at that intersection, like the little light, the street signs. That's that. The video looks like a male in his 30s, 5'8", 107. Good looking out. Good looking out. All right, what are we doing here? 420 wants to see autographed copies of your book in Foxy boxes. Okay, you got it. That's easy. Jacqueline says, I'm in Ohio. I live close to this area. High crime. Yeah, that sucks. Let's look at what neighbor has to say.
All this unfolding in a dense residential neighborhood, leaving neighbors shocked.
My heart just goes out to them. That's terrible to hear that happen, especially so close.
Is this the guy that you guys thought looked, somebody said, did you see that guy that looks kind of weird and frumpy? I mean, that guy looks a little too like bulky for that, but who knows, right? And yeah, who knows the code or their movements? Somebody close to the family.
It is a little bit worrying, but all I can think about is those kids.
Ethan Garcia, who lives just steps away, says he didn't hear or see anything unusual in the days leading up to police finding the 2 bodies.
I didn't hear anything at all. I was even outside last night at around 8:30, I'd say, and I didn't see or hear anything at all.
You guys
Police say this investigation will take time, but nearby security cameras may provide crucial evidence.
Yeah, there's a lot of cameras in this area, guys. Something had to have been caught. Now, unless there were ninjas that flew over the lights and went down the pole and wearing all black, and when the camera came, something got caught on camera, and that wasn't the guy. Okay, if you guys happen to see or know, let me know. Send me a link. But this is the only interview I'm finding with some guy that's wearing a hoodie.
Well, then neighbors say they're on edge.
Pretty concerned right now, a little worrying because, I do have a family at home and I want to make sure they're okay. It could be random. That's kind of my biggest fear.
All right, so let's get back to this. As a criminologist, she wants to, let's finish up what we're saying. Cameras are freaking everywhere. There's gotta be something they can tell us. All right. She says, not only that, but I gotta tell you, as a criminologist, I went forward a little.
So a realtor, people don't change their codes. That keypad could have the same code on it for 10 or 15 years from the people who owned the house before they did.
Agreed.
So there could be dozens of people who are not in the friends and family circle who know that code. Changing those codes when you buy a house can be really annoying if you don't have that, if you're not tech savvy and don't have the instruction booklet. So a lot of people just keep the same code.
Yeah. It's interesting you say that because people keep the same keys too. I've even been guilty of that. Like when, and I just sold the house and I'm pretty sure the people who bought it just kept the same. So you wonder like how many, iterations of people have the same key. It's kind of creepy to think about.
It is. And going back to the neighborhood, I mean, if the prior owners of this house, and I don't know how long they've owned it, but I think it's about 5 years since they got married. The prior owners of this house could have given keys and the key code to dozens of people when they owned it. So,
and guys, that's probably not likely, although this is not looking like just a random, oh, I used to be at that house and I remember the code. They're going to go in there and they're going to steal crap. All right. They're not going to go in there and shoot a dentist to death, overkill, and then take the life of the mom in the house with one bullet to the chest and then leave the children. It just doesn't matter. And yeah, changing the code. Absolutely. I agree. But I don't think that's that. I absolutely think it was emotional and overkill. That's what that equals. Emotional many times equals an overkill. All right. Whether it's they're mad about money or a relationship, whatever it is.
going back to the neighborhood, listen, I don't think that this is, a targeted, oh, we're going to go over to the house that's getting renovated and they look like, there's a dentist in there. That's the house we're going to break into in the middle of the night while they're sleeping. It just doesn't fit with the thought process of a burglar. If you're talking about somebody under the influence of drugs who is hallucinating high, not thinking well, it still doesn't make sense, because then the place would be completely ransacked and a lot more disorganized.
Yep.
But
Amen.
again, maybe there's some holdbacks that we don't know about.
And you would also think the police would be warning the public a little more about
Correct.
some crazy killer on the run that's random,
Yeah, there would be similar crimes going on in that same neighborhood.
I listened to the 911 calls and it's sad to listen to. I mean, the people seem genuinely concerned at the dental practice. Basically, he doesn't show up for work. He's never been late.
We're going to watch that video one more time when we're done here. And then I'm going to give away my guilty of crime. It's me. It's a book that I wrote about myself and my life. All right. So if you're interested in having a book, I do not have it in the merch shop. I should have it in the merch shop, but it's easily found on Amazon. If one of you girls could drop a link, that would be awesome. Or I could do that. But all right, we're going to do that right when we're done here. All right. And I'm going to just show you that video one more time. That was released of a person of interest police want to talk to
before, and then they are concerned because then the wife isn't answering the phone. It seems like they know this couple well. What do you make of that time frame?
I think the biggest thing that everyone is obsessing about right now, with the very limited details that we have, is that 911 phone call is absolutely chilling, and it sounds 100% authentic to me that this friend and coworker is absolutely horrified at discovering this crime scene. Okay. And talking about the blood everywhere, and I'm sure he's dead. But what sticks in my craw, as we say, is the fact that the wellness check from Spencer's workplace, the dental practice, happened at 9:03 a.m. And they called the police and said he was due here at 8 a.m. He's never late. He's highly reliable. We're trying to call him. And I can imagine a waiting room full of...
Wait, that is weird, guys. Did you hear that? And Froggy, you are so late. But does anyone find that odd that somebody would call in a welfare check and be very insistent on it when he's supposed to be in at, let's say, 8 o'clock and it's 9:15, but it takes an hour and 10 minutes to an hour and 30 in traffic to get there? Does anybody find that suspicious? Again, I know it was a mutually owned dentistry, but it just seems odd to me that somebody would call that close. Yeah, you think Amethyst says she thinks it's someone or whoever from the office. That is interesting. That's what I wanted to bring to this point.
Dental patients, and they don't have a dentist on hand and they don't know what to tell them. So they're concerned, and they're calling the home and they're calling the wife's cell. They know this couple really well. They're trying to get in touch with them, and it's radio silence. But to call for a wellness check in 1 hour, to me, is really unusual.
That is.
Because there could be a dozen reasons why somebody is late by 1 hour to work and can't call. Lost their phone. The phone is dead. They've been in a car accident and taken to the hospital.
Guys, that's starting to sound a little bit, the wellness check was bad. They did a lousy job. They came back an hour later. That really gets me thinking about this. How in the hell are you going to call in this and be so adamant about it when what? He was barely even missing. Yeah. All right. Members only again. I do members only lives, but yeah, I'll do members only soon. Sure. All right. Dental care is money, not unusual for those paying customers. All right. Let's keep going.
They could be unconscious. They could have had a sick child. They could have had a death in the family that's left them devastated, and calling work is the last thing on the mind. I can come up with a dozen scenarios why you might be an hour late to work and not be able to call. But they immediately call the police for a wellness check.
And she's starting, she's a criminologist. Did you see? I mean, her flares are going up. I think a coworker would drive over and check before calling a welfare check, and then continuing to call. All right. You say satire. Maybe they learned from Katie how to scramble the cameras. Kidding, couldn't resist. She worked at Brinks. If you know, let's remember Sebastian Rogers is still missing almost 2 years, and they would watch him, but they don't have cameras. That's interesting, Poppy. I know what you're saying, though. All right. Their initial instinct was he may be in a car accident. Yeah, that's weird. It was 70 miles away or so, but why? What? Yeah, it's just look at her. Her spidey senses just went up.
That's unusual. They don't and for all I know, they called and said, have there been any reports of, somebody taken to the hospital by the name of Spencer Tepe? But they immediately wanted the police to go there. And the police did arrive there at 9:21. Wow. Within like 15 minutes, the cops were there. Police are very limited in what they can do. They can ring the doorbell, knock on the door, look for any sign of a crime. But if there's nothing, if the house seems secure, they leave. They say we couldn't find anything. And that is why the friends and coworkers from the dental practice went to the scene on their own at around 10 a.m.
And just my last question, there was a police camera like up on a pole nearby, like I think right across the street, actually. So you mentioned the ring cam, but they may have other video surveillance too.
They could. And, that's a perfect thing to hold back while they try to get as much. They don't want to spook the culprit if they have an idea of who that person is.
They've got to, guys.
Yeah, just like you mentioned.
They've got to have camera footage by now, and they've got to have information on those phones. All right. They've got to know who Mr. Spencer and Mrs. Tepe, they got to know who they were texting and what was going on. Now, Teen East says, I was born not far from Columbus and it's a bad area, but he had just switched practices and hadn't been with the dental practice that long. Wonder why they lived in a city but worked rural. That's what I'm wondering. It was about an hour and 10 minutes to an hour and a half away. And I bet anything the cops absolutely know a lot more than we do. And they're trying to gather as much information as they can.
Brian Koberger, there's a lot of ring camera footage out there. They are gathering that right now. And we just saw it in the Brown massacre shooting. It takes a while to go door to door to door. Please look at your ring camera footage. But there was a ring camera on the front of this house. Was it working? Was it recording? How do you get access to it? That can be kind of tough if the only person who knows how to access it. So they're gathering video footage from the police camera on the corner, from everybody's home security cameras in the area, and the ring camera on the front of that house surely captured something if it was operational. So, which we don't know if it was. Video footage is probably what's going to solve this, along with those bullet casings. I don't know that we're going to have any DNA, but
you don't need them.
70 to 80% odds this person is known to the family in some way. They are in the inner circle of Monique.
I'm telling y'all, 75% of all crimes are somebody that you know or that knows you. All right. That's it. That's all, period. That's how it is. All right. Now let's keep going. This is the more I'm looking at this and the more that they're asking for these questions, they're asking these specific questions. And the more I look into what the brother-in-law wrote on social media, the brother-in-law says that the kids slept through it and were unaware, but he says he says very confidently that he believes it was a targeted hit. It was calculated and premeditated murder by a person who knew what they were doing. Remember that. Nothing was stolen. Nothing was out of place. And guys, there were zero signs of a break-in. And then Monique Tepe, 39, was shot once, and Spencer Tepe was shot multiple times in the residence. All right. Now, there are police cameras that are located about 150 feet from the home. That should be telling, guys. Spencer had been shot multiple times, according to a radio run log that was obtained by a public record request. Police found the two children and the dog at home, and now they're seeking information from you. Now, we look back at the marriages, and it's not really much, right? Monique was married prior to, but she wasn't married long and didn't have children. She got married back in 2015, right? And then she was divorced by 2017. And I saw the divorce, the records for the divorce, and there was nothing about it, nothing unusual. All right, last thing before we give away a book signed by me, Jay from Guilty of Crime, we are going to look at this breaking news real quick. All right, guys. Breaking news, person of interest just came out. I did show you the video, but let's listen to what law enforcement says when police release the person of interest video and what they're asking that we do to help.
A story that has gained attention across the country. The hunt continues for the killer who took the lives of a Columbus couple just last week, just days before the new year. And tonight we're hearing from the family of the victims and getting a look at video of a person of.
That's not unusual to me. And Bugs, hold on. I mean, I'm a 46-year-old lesbian, female lesbian. Who cares that he married a man 30 days after? So what? He was with her for 2 years and he decided he was gay. But I looked into the records of their divorce and it was all amicable. There's nothing weird about somebody being gay, turning out to be gay. Wow, I married you for 2 years and now I like men. I just don't see that. I don't see the correlation of that. Just saying. I don't understand. Look like the 4-year-old is a girl. All right. Yeah, I looked into the first husband and I didn't see anything that was that weird. All right. But hey, what do you know? I don't think he was gay. He was providing an LLC. Interesting. Okay. Well, then I don't see the connection yet, but I appreciate you. I know that you're doing deep diving into this. Maybe we'll come back and we'll see. Oh shit. It was some immigrant guy that wanted her out of the way because she was causing trouble for their marriage because she knew it was. I don't know. I don't know.
Interest in this case.
Right.
Aaron Simonek has the very latest. Aaron.
Yeah, Rodney, Columbus police say they're working diligently to solve this case, receiving numerous tips to help with the investigation. We'll show you this new surveillance video released Monday night, a potential person of interest. As the investigation nears its 1 week mark, police potentially getting closer to pinpointing.
And see, it's hard to see what they're seeing. I love that I can just make y'all laugh like that. All right. Just now it's all good. But you know, when you came across like that, when you said him marrying a man seemed odd, I was just saying that it didn't seem that odd to me. But then when you tell me it was just a like arranged immigrant marriage, that makes it a little bit different. But you left that part out. Context is king, my friend. All right. What time of freaking day is this, guys? Nest will do that to you. Nest will mess you up because they got such good lighting on the cameras that sometimes it's hard to tell if it's even night or day. But anyway, they're looking for this guy. He was walking in the area at the time. Police are looking for video.
A suspect.
Columbus police believe Spencer and Monique Tepe were murdered on the second floor of their Wineland Park home between the hours of 2 and 5 a.m. the morning of December 30th. This video released Monday evening showing a man walking near the Tepe's home sometime within those 3 hours with his hood up and his head down. This is the only video released to media of any kind of evidence that could lead to
Yeah, that looks sus AF, guys, and that doesn't look like the guy on the interview. I was just looking for a guy in an interview. Yeah, that didn't look like him at all. I don't have the video that someone was referring to. All right, taking people in is not a great idea these days if that happened. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But he looks sus AF.
To a suspect.
What's he doing at 3 in the morning?
You know, these images of Spencer, pictures that people are sending me, and it's like, he's not gone. There's no way he's gone. There's no way Monique's gone. Like that can't be possible.
Rob Misla says Spencer and Monique Tepe were two of the most admirable people in his life. Their family and the nation stunned as all eyes remain on the investigation.
And she just, started hyperventilating, and it took a minute to figure out, what was happening. And then from there, it was just like kind of an instant realization that all of our entire lives are never going to be the same again.
Now, remember, police just put this out minutes before I came on here. Police release person of interest video in the murders of Spencer and Monique Tepe. And then, Buckle, let me read that. Now, this does get a little bit hairy here. When you have an LLC to a cleaning company or any company that probably isn't a cleaning company, yeah, that's odd. And context makes sense. Like I didn't get it. But that context makes much more sense. All right. So this just came out. This video.
The Tepes would have celebrated their 5-year wedding anniversary in just a few weeks. Misla says their children, 4 and 1, are in good care of family, along with their family dog.
How do you tell a 4-year-old that, she's never going to see her parents again? It's just awful, but we've been giving them all of our love.
Misla describing Monique as warm, charming, and strong. Spencer known as calm, steady, and kind. With funeral arrangements in the works, investigators following the case closely. No interview was made available to ABC6 on Monday.
We'd rather have it done right instead of fast. And we understand that these kind of things in process, and there's, you know, a lot of moving parts and pieces.
A loving couple, 2 young children left behind with plenty of unanswered questions.
Again, guys, this looks like a picture perfect marriage that we see, but things are deceiving. All right. Happy Monday, Holly, my girl. Good to see you, my friend. And Mab, you might be onto something. I've put so much time into looking at the case and all of these things. I didn't really dig into that. So, hey, you should do a follow-up episode, my friend, on those people. I'm interested. I'll watch.
And what is your message to the person behind this?
This person didn't just take 2 lives, right? They took a son and a daughter, a brother and a sister.
There you go,
and
Valerie.
an uncle.
Oh, prayers.
Cousins. And they obviously took 2 beautiful souls who are just lovely parents.
Now, a major question also still remains tonight. Why would someone do this? If you or anyone you know might have information to help investigators, you can stay anonymous. Reach out to Crime Stoppers at 614-461-TIPS or Columbus Police.
Yeah, this is only like a 30-second video, so they keep showing him walk back and forth, but that's the same person, and they keep showing it so you get an idea. Very heartbreaking, and it's like I almost don't want to know about the bad stuff that there was going on. Cody, I almost don't want to know about Affair because they seem so perfect. You know what I mean? And don't worry, no worries, M. Buckholes. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. My apologies, love. Well, thank you. You don't have to apologize. I love talking with you guys and interacting and trying to figure out what is going on when we just simply don't know. All right, we're going to give away my book, a signed copy of my book. You just got to be in the U.S. right after this.
For now, on your side, Aaron Simonek, ABC 6 News.
Thank you, Aaron. And we're posting the video online. You can look at it on the ABC6 social media pages as well as the ABC6 app.
Yep, go on, check that out, guys. Some people came on earlier and were like, I missed it. What happened? Well, just go back now. I showed it like 5 other times. A marriage, 2 births, 2 funerals in under 5 years. Crazy, right? Absolutely, yeah. And Buckholes, you're welcome, and you're very sweet. Thank you. All right, guys, here we go. Murder mystery, justice for Spencer and Monique Tepe, and guys, they're 2 children and they're family members. All right. So that's fun. Hey, you're all good under your scars. You say, if you're out, you're good. All right. Jen Johnson, let's do this. You guys are great. Thank you for being here. Again, this is my channel, my commentary, and my opinions. I'll give you guys facts that I get. We'll read documents from the cases. We'll use other people's videos and we'll cite those videos. But everything is under the Fair Use Act, and it's entertainment purposes only. All right. I'm not saying, hey, I'm the news, guys. I'm the news. Come check out my news. No, I'll report news to you with my commentary. Love you too, Saucy Skins. I can't wait to get a package from you. All right. Let's drop this down, guys. Put a comment in. I'm going to put this up right now, and we're going to give away my book. All right. I know. Jacqueline. All right. Let's take a look today. Targeted attack, ? Dennis double homicide while kids cry inside. And it's interesting because they missed that on the first round. So I wonder if the kids had woke up and then they started screaming because people were knocking or ringing. Maybe the dog started barking. I don't know. Sad case, guys. We're going to keep on top of it. And I hope that they find something soon. All right, guys. Thank you, guys. I'm glad you guys do. I'm glad you guys are so awesome. Thank you, guys. Happy Monday. All right. Norma. I don't know if... So, Norma, you are a crime crew member. I don't know if you've gotten my book before. I know you've been around for quite some time. But it landed on you, Norma. You're a crime crew member. And... Thank you, Saucy Skins. I appreciate you. I'm going to order some more books so I can give more away. All right, Norma, are you interested in my book? My J. Scott, it's not Guilty of Crime. It's my personal book. It's for 18 and older. All right. Maybe Charlie Aderson can offer up some opinions, right? The damn dentist. All right, where'd Norma go? Norma, congratulations I'm going to give you a signed copy. I'll sign the copy and mail it to you. You just have to email me, guiltyofcrimebyj@gmail.com. I'll also order more books, guys. I'm going to go ahead and order a stack of books. I'll sign them for you guys, and I'll send them over to Foxy so that we can get some of those books in the Foxy boxes for you guys, okay? So congratulations. Thank you to everybody that was here today, everybody that supports the channel on a regular. I do appreciate you guys, all right? Thank you so much. Again, guiltyofcrimebyj@gmail.com if there's anything that you want to send to me. Otherwise, congratulations, Norma. Please email me, get your address over, and we'll get some more of those books going so we can do more giveaways. All right, guys, I love you. Thank you for being here. You're very welcome. I will see you all tomorrow, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern. Good night. Love you all.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty of crime?